Hi everybody, Steven Aitchison here, and we're going to be talking about beliefs, personal beliefs this week. So it's not about the kind of big hairy beliefs, it's not religious beliefs, political beliefs, or any of that. It's about your personal beliefs, what you believe about yourself, because what you believe about yourself affects every single thing you do in your life, every single area in your life, and we're going to be talking about that as well. So just a very brief introduction to me. I'm an author and an online trainer. So I've written the book, The Belief Principle, and I teach people personal development things. Mostly I've been doing it for the last 14 years. I've had a blog since 2006 called Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life. And I've been running that, as I said, for 14 years, and I've been deeply into personal development for years and years and years, ever since a kind of book fell on my head in a bookshop, in a second-hand bookshop. And it was Think and Grow Rich. That was the very first personal development book I read. It was when I was about 19 or something, and it was a second-hand copy of it, a really old copy. So that's how I got into personal development. And I've changed my beliefs so much over the years, and it's been amazing to see the kind of transformation in my life, and this is why I wanted to write the book, The Belief Principle, as well. But I've done the kind of degree in psychology. I've done that at Glasgow Caledonian University. I finished that just because I could, just because I wanted to, and because I had a deep held belief that I wouldn't be able to do it. So I've done that as well. Written the blog, written the book now, and now this is my life. This is what I do. I teach people personal development, particularly about personal beliefs. And this is what I want to share with you this week. And hopefully it's going to be a good one for you this week. It's going to be really kind of practical and get you thinking about your own self. So a lot of self-reflection here. So there's not going to be that many exercises, but there's still going to be a lot of self-reflection here as well. So that's a brief kind of introduction as to who I am. I just want to share with you my story of how the book came about. First of all, the Belief Principle. So I grew up in Edinburgh, in a rough part of Edinburgh. A lot of you might know it, called Wester Hailes. So I moved there when I was 5 years old. They were just kind of building, and my dad had come out of the army, and we'd moved to Wester Hailes. And it's a dodgy, rough area, or it was back then. Obviously it's changed a lot now, but it was kind of dodgy area. But that, as a child, everything's an adventure, everything's exciting. We had a cousin staying with us and stuff like that. So I went to school at Clovenstone Primary School, and it was apparent when I went to school that there might be something wrong with me, or it was apparent to the teachers, because I wasn't learning as quickly. My speech wasn't coming on as quickly as well, and because of this, I'm not saying kind of poor me or anything, but because of this I kind of got bullied, because it was deemed that I was a wee bit slow. So I had in my head that I was thick. So I know that's not very PC now, but I had in my head, that was the kind of words we used at the time. And I kind of got called thick when I was younger as well, just because I didn't seem to have the ability. What it turned out to be was I was starting to go deaf. And what I'd done, and I'd hid it so well because I'd learned to lip read. So whenever my teachers' backs were turned to me, obviously I couldn't hear what they were saying properly. And this led to a lot of problems. So for about a year and a half, 2 years or something, this slowly got worse and worse and worse. Until one day, we were getting a family photograph taken for somewhere. I think it was Edinburgh Zoo or something. And my mum whispered, she was behind me, and she whispered something to me before the photo got taken, but I didn't hear her, or I didn't acknowledge her. So she whispered again louder. And I still didn't hear her. So she tapped me on the shoulder, and I turned round, and she knew then that there was something up. And so she got my ears tested, and it turns out I had glue ear, something called glue ear, and I had to get grommets put in my ear, which was fine. After that, it was fantastic. Got the grommets put in, could hear perfectly, and I did well at school. My speech started to come on. I had to go to a speech therapist, but my speech started to come on, and I was learning well in school, and things were going hunky-dory in school, which was fantastic. However, the belief that I was thick stayed with me for 11 years, up until I was 16 years old. So I believed I was not intelligent at all. I believed I was thick. I believed there was something wrong with me, something wrong with my development, all because of that, because I was starting to go deaf. Obviously at a young age I didn't realise that. I couldn't understand why that wasn't the case. And nobody really told me, because I never really voiced it. It was just this internal belief that I had that was thick. Until one day, when I was 16 years old, I was walking home from high school. We'd moved to Fife by this time. I was walking home from high school, Buckhaven, and I just passed a history exam. And I got an A because I loved history. And I got an A. And then it suddenly hit me. It was just like a revelation. I thought, if I got an A in history, I can't be thick. How is this possible? I'm not thick. I must be intelligent. And then I started to look for other things to prove in my mind that I was intelligent. So I loved reading. I loved writing at the time as well. I was always making up kind of short stories, and I was kind of reading my dad's books, Harold Robbins' books, or whatever. It's kind of weird. But I loved reading kind of those books and making stories out of those kind of Harold Robbins books I was reading. And loads of kind of other wee things that proved to myself that I was intelligent. And in one day, literally one day, and this is what's called an epiphany, a kind of epiphany belief change. In one day I managed to change the belief that I was not intelligent or I was thick to being I am intelligent. And that one thing literally changed my life. Literally. It made me more social. Kind of at school, I'd done much better at school because I was more social. I had more confidence within myself, had confidence to do other things out with kind of school. Kind of was bringing in more, well, not bringing in more, but I had more friends as well because of the confidence within me. It just changed so many things. And this was a deeply held root belief. We're going to talk about that in a wee second as well, about your root beliefs. So this affected every single area of my life. And I was the first person in my family to go to university because of this belief change. It was later on in life, but I just wanted to prove to myself that I could do it. So I went to university and I studied psychology, and I got my degree in psychology later on, just to prove to myself that I could do it. And I did. And it was fantastic. So that brought me to kind of where we are today, because all those things, when I talk about personal development and write about personal development, and I wanted to write a book, I've always wanted to write books, fiction and non-fiction. I thought, what could I write on? And my passion for the last few years has been talking about beliefs, and I thought that is the obvious choice, and that's where it stems from. That kind of one day when I was walking home and I had a belief change. Now, beliefs, personal beliefs, don't change overnight. They just don't change overnight. You can get an epiphany belief change where somebody goes, oh, they just have a revelation like that, and it's amazing. It's an amazing thing to happen, but it's few and far between. What we're looking at doing today and the rest of this week is looking at your beliefs and seeing how we can change them over time. But I'm going to give you the belief formula as well. I'm going to give you all that and share with you how to change your beliefs and how to uncover your beliefs. Because if I was to ask you just now, what beliefs do you have about yourself? What personal beliefs do you have about yourself? It's not a question we're often asked. It's kind of difficult to answer as well, because we don't really think about our personal beliefs. So you might say, I'm intelligent, or I'm good with computers, or I'm a kind, caring person, or whatever it is. A lot of the time we kind of talk to ourselves and we're kind of saying to ourselves how we put ourselves down a lot. We wouldn't talk to our worst enemies the way we talk to ourselves sometimes. And this is where our beliefs are kind of emboldened as well. So we have to think about the way we talk to ourselves as well, and that's another thing we're going to be talking about. So I guess we have to start at the beginning then. What is a belief? What is a belief? When we say, when somebody kind of asks, okay, what really is a belief? A belief, all it is a deeply held opinion that you have about yourself. Remember, we're talking about personal beliefs, so this is about you. It's not about anybody else. It's not about political beliefs or religious beliefs or anything else. Those are all somebody else's beliefs that you have. So a belief is a deeply held opinion that you have about yourself. That's it. That's it. It's very subjective. So you can't say to somebody, I believe this about myself, and that another person say, that's not true. Nobody can deny what you believe about yourself. If you believe it, it is true. Whatever you tell yourself you believe, it's true. So think about that. It's very subjective. And if you think about it, we've told ourselves this over a number of years. The beliefs we have about ourselves, we've kind of told ourselves over and over and over again about this particular belief that we have about ourselves. And I'll share with you and I say how we can do that as well, or how we can change that, or how it kind of comes about. So that's what a belief is. Really, if you kind of break it down to its core element, it's just a deeply held opinion you have about yourself. How are beliefs formed then? If we look at about how our beliefs are formed, we have to think about kind of who brought us up when we were younger. And it could be your mum, your dad, your primary caregivers, your gran, your uncle, your auntie, whoever it was that brought you up when you were younger. That's primarily where you get a lot of your beliefs from, because they pass their beliefs on to you. If you think about it, when you're younger and people are talking about themselves, and people are talking about their own lives, and people are talking about their work ethic, people are talking about just every area of their life, you pick up on that. You're a sponge when you're younger. So you pick up on that and you kind of bring those beliefs into yourself as well. And a classic one is money beliefs. Now, when our parents are different generations, but our parents kind of said, money doesn't grow on trees, you can't have that, we can't afford it, oh, you're always wanting stuff we can never afford, we just can't do it, we've not got the money. This money belief is perpetuated all the time. It's day in and day out. Just even going for school lunches, I remember saying we can't afford the school lunches, we have to get kind of lunch tickets, stuff like that as well. It just goes into young minds, and we're soaking up all that kind of information and saying, I'm never going to have any money. It's just the way I am. And this is why a lot of people get into debt as well, because of these money beliefs. That's a separate topic. Could write a whole book on just money beliefs as well. But that's just one of the examples that the beliefs are passed down from our parents. It's also passed down from our teachers, our peers, our brothers and sisters, our siblings as well. We're soaking up information when we are younger. So you know, when you give an iPad to a young child at say 3-4 years old, they'll be able to pick it up within the space of probably a couple of minutes compared to us, but they can pick it up very, very quickly because we're like little sponges at that age. So if you say to yourself, okay, I get a lot of my beliefs from my parents or my primary caregivers or my peers or my teachers and that, and from the media to a certain extent in this nowadays, but we just say to yourselves, okay, if we got a belief from our mum and dad or our parents or primary caregivers, where did they get their beliefs from? And you can think about it and go, well, they must have got it from their parents or their primary caregivers or their teachers or whatever. And then you ask, and you go further down the line, go down the rabbit hole and say, well, where did they get their beliefs from? Same again, it goes further and further on down the line. So some of your beliefs have been passed down and they're hundreds of years old. Some of your beliefs that you hold about yourself just now are hundreds of years old. And they're not even your beliefs. That, when I started researching this years ago and thought about this and kind of deeply thought about it, and I thought, that blows your mind. When you say a lot of your beliefs that you hold about yourself just now are hundreds of years old and they're not even your own. And we don't even know. Subconsciously, our beliefs are working in the background all the time. You watching this just now is because of a belief that you held. You need kind of personal development. You need to kind of work on yourself. You need self-reflection. This is why you've got up to kind of watch this live show just now, because of a deeply held belief that there's something you need to do. You need to be growing as a human being all the time. And a lot of people don't realise this, so you're kind of ahead of the curve, so to speak. But if you think about your beliefs being hundreds of years old, you go, oh shit, what can I do about that? But then you have to ask the question, but why do our beliefs kind of formed at such a young age? Because psychologists have shown that we form most of our beliefs. The beliefs you have about yourself just now, most of your beliefs have been formed by the age of 7 years old. 7 years old. We can't even conceive of what a belief is at the age of 7 years old. And we think about that and just go, well, how are most of our beliefs formed by the age of 7 years old? There's a specific reason for it. So when we're younger, up until the age of, let's say, 0 to 7, our brainwave patterns are operating on different levels. So we have 4 major brainwave patterns. is alpha, beta, theta, and delta. Now, when we're really young, obviously we're in the deeper kind of stages of the brainwave patterns. So delta and theta, or delta is really a kind of deep sleep stage. Is what kind of babies go into when they're sleeping, when they're younger, is a deep sleep stage. Coming from theta to alpha, this is where we're kind of waking up, but the theta level would be akin to when you're in a meditative state, when you're in that kind of drowsy state, just before drowsing off to sleep. You're in that kind of meditative state just before sleep, when you're going into the kind of unconscious world of sleep. That's a theta stage. Alpha is a relaxed stage. When you're meditating, but it's not to do with just about falling asleep. This is to do with just feeling deeply relaxed, and your mind is relaxed, everything else is relaxed. At the same time, your whole body is calm, your mind is calm. That's the alpha stage. But when you're in the beta stage, this is what you are just now. You're thinking about possibly loads of different things at the same time. You're watching this, you're thinking about getting the kids, or getting them up, getting their breakfast. You're thinking about preparing food, getting them off to school, and loads of different things. You're thinking about work, you're thinking about what you've got to do for the day, you're thinking about kind of the bills you've got to pay and stuff. That's the beta stage, and it's like a monkey mind, and it's kind of all over the place all the time. That's the beta stage. So when we're younger, from the age of 0 to 7, we're predominantly in the alpha theta stage. That's a brainwave pattern that we're in. So in that state, we are soaking up information. This is how we're able to retain information so well, because when we learn at that level, at the alpha theta brainwave level, we can soak up the information that goes into our subconscious mind much quicker, and it stays there as well. Think about it, if you're in a beta stage and you're trying to learn something new, it's getting blocked by all the other thoughts that you've got. But in an alpha theta state, we're soaking up all the information from that as children. And this is why we learn so quickly as children. This is why we can pick up things so quickly as well. And it's really easy to us. Like I can work the TV remote sometimes as well. But children pick up really, really quick, and they just do it. And that is because of that, because in the alpha theta state, and they pick up things so much quicker. So from 0 to 7, we're in that state, and this is where most of our beliefs kind of are formed at that age. And this is why we hold on to those beliefs as well. Not consciously, this is all done subconsciously. So if we think about that most of our beliefs are formed by the age of 7 years old, personal beliefs are formed by the age of 7 years old, we have to look, or consciously look at our beliefs just now and see what ones we need to kind of either get rid of, or see what ones we need to enhance, or see what beliefs we need to install. And the amazing thing about being a human being is we can change our beliefs. Our beliefs are not set in stone. Like you get some people say, "Oh, my memory is terrible. I've just got a bad memory for faces, or a bad memory for names." Loads of people say that, and you're doing that, and you're telling other people that, and you're saying that every day, or not every day, but you're saying it over and over and over again, and it becomes a belief. And what happens when it becomes a belief, something like that? When you say to yourself, "I'm no good with faces," your brain will shut down. Because if you ask a question, "Oh, what's that person's name again? What's that person's name?" Your brain shuts down. Just say it, "Because I'm no good with faces, so I'm not even going to try. I'm not even going to try and remember." But when you kind of turn that around and just say, "I'm getting better. With my memory is getting better all the time. My memory for faces is getting better all the time. My memory for names is getting better all the time." When you change it and flip it, things start to change gradually. Not overnight, but gradually. And this is kind of the process of changing and forming a new belief as well. We'll go into that much deeper and kind of days 2 and 3, but that's kind of the process. You can see the process of how our beliefs are formed, because we've repeated something over and over and over again in our minds. So this is how beliefs are formed. Remember I said it was a deeply held opinion about yourself? So if we have an opinion about ourselves, can we change an opinion about ourselves? Yes, we can. If we can change an opinion about ourselves, we can change our beliefs. Now, there's much more to it than that. Obviously, this kind of happens at subconscious level as well. And there's work we have to do. If we really want to grow as a human being, then we have to put in the work. We have to put in the effort. Every single thing you have in your life just now, your job, your money in the savings, your relationships, your kind of career, the car you have, the house you have, every single thing you have is all down to your beliefs. All, literally, all down to your beliefs. So if you say to yourself, I've got this job and I hate this job, why have you still got that job? And I'm not being kind of arrogant saying we just change your job, it's just as easy as that. I know it's not as easy as that, but a lot of it is to do with your beliefs. So you believe, you've taken the job you believe you're worthy of at the time. And that might be a hard thing to hear, but you've taken a job you believe you're worthy of. So you don't believe you're worthy of more. A lot of the time, this is the case. You don't believe you're worthy of more. This is the same true in relationships. We accept the love we think we deserve in relationships. And this is true in a lot of other areas in our life. We accept the job we think we deserve. We accept the money we think we deserve. If we don't believe we deserve any more, we're never going to get any more. This is why it's so imperative to look at your beliefs and say, oh shit, I need to change the limiting beliefs I have about myself. And you're going to find every area of your life, you're going to find in every area, there's limiting beliefs in every single area you have in your life, particularly about money. Money is a big one. Relationships is another one as well, and career is another one. We have something called, and I'll go deeper into this, but I just get really excited about this, and I shouldn't be talking about it because I'm going off topic, but we have something called the belief ceiling. So in every area of our life we have something called the belief ceiling, and we cannot grow beyond the level we cannot grow beyond the level of our beliefs in every single area. So if you believe that the job you're doing just now and you're getting paid, I don't know, 20,000, 25,000, 30,000 pounds a year, if you don't believe you're worth any more, you're never going to get any more in your job. It'll go up incrementally with inflation and stuff like that, which is not very much, but you're not going to get any more than that because you don't think you deserve, deep down you don't think you deserve it, you don't believe you can get any more. And or you might think I have to change something in order to get a kind of better job, or you don't want to sacrifice time with your kids or time with the family or time with your partner or whatever it is. But a lot of it is down to the beliefs we have. And this is why a lot of us have money kind of issues as well, because we don't believe we can get any more money into our lives, or we don't believe we can save, or we don't believe we can pay off our mortgage. So many things can change in your life if you look at your beliefs and your limiting beliefs as well. And this is what this is all about, and this is what I'm hoping to kind of, if I can temper myself enough not to get excited and talk about everything at once, and we'll go through this kind of in a structured way. I'll go back to the comments just now. I totally, I deserve lots of money, but also think it causes so much corruption, so feel torn. That's the thing. A lot of people have this kind of innate, it's not innate, that's not true, it's not innate, you're not born with it. Have this belief which has been passed down from generation to generation, money corrupts. The rich are just all drug dealers or something crazy like that. We've got these kind of beliefs and we've got these stories playing in our heads. And when we try to make money in our life, then we automatically think people are going to think that about us. Nothing to do with it. If you get it out of your head that it kind of corrupts, money can corrupt. It's the person that's being corrupted, or it's the person that's being corruptive. So money can corrupt certain people, but it doesn't mean to say it's going to corrupt you. So it's the beliefs, again, it's another story we've been telling ourselves for years and years and years. And this is why a lot of people are fearful of making money. And this is why you'll find, I don't know if you've experienced this, if you make a lot of money, you're going to find out who your real friends are, because real friends are going to be really happy for you making a lot of money or being successful in your business or winning the lottery or whatever. They're going to be really extremely happy for you. Others, not so happy, because it takes you to a different level. And we're going to talk about the energy of your beliefs as well, which attracts different people to you. That's getting kind of deeper into this kind of state, but it does attract different people to you, the different beliefs that you have. So imagine you're a negative person all the time. The world is a terrible place to live in. It's all doom and gloom. It's such a terrible place. I would never bring my kids up in this place. I wouldn't have kids in this kind of day and age. And you kind of think all that. You watch the news and you think everybody's murderers or rapists, or there's loads of war going on everywhere. If you kind of believed all that, that attracts certain people to you because you have that belief, or you have those beliefs, and you have energy in those beliefs as well. So if you've got a belief that the world is a terrible place and you've got all this evidence to prove it in your mind, then your energy is going to be very, very kind of negative energy, and it's going to kind of vibrate a different level. So you're going to attract people who perpetuate that belief. You're going to attract people who kind of confirm what you're saying. If that makes sense, you're going to attract more of the same kind to you. I know that's kind of getting into, and I don't know if you're kind of into this, the law of attraction and stuff, but it's much deeper than that. It really is. But if you elevate your kind of mind, if you elevate your kind of beliefs that you have about yourself and the world round about you, you can choose to look in a different way. Then you're going to attract different people into your life. You're going to attract different things, and you're going to have different thoughts in your life as well. So it's all kind of a cycle. It's all a circle that you have, that your kind of beliefs kind of taint what you're thinking, and your beliefs kind of really talk about the actions you take, and everything you do in life is all to do with your beliefs, your thoughts, the actions you take as well. That's all going to change once you lift your beliefs, because your energy or beliefs change as well. So this is how your life changes, and this is how it can change at a snowball kind of effect. It just starts off small, snowballs, everything starts to change because you're believing in yourself more and more and more all the time. So once you kind of have a belief that you're confident enough to do this, you've got something called a root belief. So a root belief would be confidence, self-confidence. And a root belief affects so many other beliefs in your life. And I call this in the book the tree of beliefs. So we have root beliefs, trunk beliefs, branch beliefs, and leaf beliefs. That's the 4 types of beliefs I talk about in the book. A root belief can affect every single belief on the tree. It can affect a trunk belief, it can affect a branch belief, and a leaf belief. So a root belief is something that's really a kind of deeply rooted, and that can affect every area of your life. Confidence is one of those. So an example of a leaf belief, for example, just to say how small it is, I am good at running. I'm good at running. That could be a leaf belief. It doesn't really affect anything. It's not going to really affect a lot of your life, but you just believe you're good at running and you've got good times. You've got a certain level of fitness and stuff like that. That's a leaf belief. It's just a small belief that you have about yourself, but it's a belief nonetheless, and it'll go on the tree as a leaf. So a root belief can affect every other area of your life. And one of the beliefs I talk about in the book as a root belief is the belief that I am worthy. So many people in the world today do not believe they're worthy. And that is such a horrible shame that a lot of people don't think they're worthy. But they don't believe they're worthy because of what's happened in the past. You don't need to know where it came from, that belief that you're not worthy. You don't need to know where it came from. You can still change it as long as you're in the present today and you're thinking about it, you become aware of it. You can change it for the future, which means you can change your life. So that's one of the beliefs I talk about as well. And just hearing yourself saying that, I am worthy. If you do it just now, just an exercise, you don't need to do it right now, but if you do it, just put your hand on your heart and really feel, I am worthy. I am worthy. I've done this loads of times, and a lot of people get really kind of emotional about it, just saying I am worthy, because they've never heard anybody say that to them. They've never heard, in different words and different phrases as well, but they've never heard that in their life. They've never heard that they are worthy. And hearing yourself saying it as well, there's something happens in your mind called cognitive dissonance, whereby you cannot hold 2 opposing beliefs in your mind at the same time. And the stronger of the beliefs will win out every time until you consciously start to change it. And this is what we're doing here. So just changing that one belief, that root belief that we're talking about in the tree of beliefs, can affect every single area and every single other belief that you have about yourself as well. So this is what I want to talk about this week. Right, quick exercise for you. I know I'm way over my time and I do apologise. Right, I want you to kind of write down, this is, you've probably seen the Wheel of Life. This is kind of write about in the book is the belief wheel of life, and it's talking about your different beliefs in all the different areas. So I want you to write down these headings: health, family, personal development, money, spirituality, career, recreation, and outcomes. So when you think about your health, give yourself a score out of 10 of how well you think you're doing with your health. Give yourself a score out of 10. So for example, if you're smoking, you might knock a point off for something. And I only say that because I've given up smoking, it was 2 years ago now. So you might think, well, I need to get healthy, I need to give up smoking, or I need to get healthy, I need to kind of go out running or walking more, I need to get more exercise. So you might knock some points off. So think about your health and give your score out, yourself a score out of 10. And then think about your family, give yourself a score out of 10. Your personal development, are you working yourself enough? Being in this group is going to really help that. Money, how do you feel about that? And kind of give yourself a score out of 10. Could you be saving more? Could you be doing more to get more money in? Or could you be doing investing more or something like that? So give yourself a score out of 10. Spirituality, do you work on your spirit as well? Not religious, this is nothing religious. Spirituality is totally different from religion. Career, give yourself a score out of 10. Recreation, do you take enough downtime? Do you have enough downtime? Do you read enough? Do you kind of do the things you really enjoy enough as well? And your outcomes of life. Have you set a lot of goals in your life? Even set mini goals and challenges for yourself, because we cannot grow outside our comfort zone. We cannot grow within. If we're inside our comfort zone, we cannot grow as a human being. So setting outcomes and going outside our comfort zone is going to help us grow as human beings. So give yourself a score out of 10 for that. And that is the exercise for today. And we'll talk about that later on in the week as well. Okay, I'll leave it there just now. As I said, I could literally do this all day, but I'll leave it there just now, temper myself. And tomorrow, we're going to be talking about affirmations. We're going to be talking about the big I am, the energy of your beliefs as well, and your belief filter, how you see the world as well. And we'll be doing another exercise for tomorrow. So the exercises that you do are going to be used later on in the week. Okay, I'll leave it there. Thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. If you've got any comments, if you've got any questions, let me know and I'll answer them in this post about the topic we've been talking about today. Okay, until next time, namaste. Take care. Bye now.